Hi, it's Joy from the Rev Femme Rebellion, and I'm going to be continuing my series about reporting sexual assault and rape. And today I want to talk about reporting in a hospital setting. I know we've talked a lot about the hospital, about the SAFE kits, what people know as rape kits, which we say SAFE, sexual assault forensic evidence exam, or SAFE nurse or SAFE clinic. But I wanted to talk about the practical parts of reporting. So if you are reporting in a hospital setting or you're supporting someone who's going to report, and I think it should be the main, like the number one place to go to report, I think should be in a hospital setting, because whether you've been physically assaulted, sexually assaulted, whatever, you need to be seen by a doctor. You need to be checked out. So I really would love to change the narrative around reporting rape from reporting to the police to reporting at the hospital. So who's taking you to the emergency room? Who's taking you to the clinic to be seen? And my biggest advice for the practical parts of that, the reality of it being a long time waiting, it being a very emotionally exhaustive, sometimes re-traumatizing process, even just to go and be seen by someone. That doesn't mean you have to get a kit done, okay? Just going to a doctor and saying, this happened to me, I want to get checked out to make sure I'm safe, I'm okay. It can be such a re-traumatizing process that I highly recommend taking a support person. And if you don't have someone to take with you, asking for a victim advocate if they have one at the hospital. And if you don't have anyone, to just be your own advocate the best you can. And my advice to do that is going to be three things, and that's before the hospital, at the hospital, and after the hospital. So beforehand, I cannot stress enough making a cope ahead plan. And this is true wherever you're reporting, but especially in terms of reporting at the hospital, because it's a lengthy time. You're going to be waiting to be seen, waiting in between tests or waiting for the doctor, and that can be very anxiety inducing. So cope ahead. Say, all right, I know I'm going to be waiting. I'm going to take this book. I'm going to watch this movie on my phone. We're going to go and get food beforehand so that we're prepared for waiting, so we're not hungry or thirsty. Or even coping ahead for afterwards and saying, this could be a very long, exhausting process. What's some self-care we can do afterwards? We can go out to dinner, we can go see a movie and just kind of turn our brains off for 2 hours. What would be the best for you? Making that plan ahead of time there's something to look forward to, some relief, some light at the end of the tunnel, so you're not just awash in this sea of trauma. So that's before the hospital. At the hospital, I would advise staying very present. If you're supporting a person, pay attention to what doctors are saying, what a victim advocate from the hospital might be saying, listening to their advice or their resources that they're talking to you about, or results of whatever examination or test might have been done. Because when you're there experiencing it, it can be really overwhelming when you're the survivor to try to pay attention, to listen long enough for it to even stick in your brain. If it's a traumatic process and you're potentially being re-traumatized through it, then you could be entering one of those 5 F's, right? Fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and fold. You might be in freeze, or you might be in flight and just dissociating and saying, I'm putting my head down and getting this done, but it's too much for me to keep track. So maybe taking a journal, if you're supporting someone, or if you're going by yourself, to write down the information that's being told to you. And getting the names of the doctors that you talk to, the nurses that may be doing, or the medical professional that are doing the exam, to take their names down so that you have reference, so you know who you talk to, you know who you disclose to, or who the person you're supporting talked to or disclosed to. Very important to keep track of names. And then afterwards, I would say follow up. So taking care of yourself, following up with the hospital to make sure that your tests are being run and that you're getting the results that you need, that if they're able to offer you resources moving forward, that you're accessing them or have access to them. Just staying in contact and having a point of reference if you're able to. So again, a lot of this with reporting, it takes being present or having some support for being present if it's hard for you. But if you're with someone, you're supporting someone that's going through this, or you're going through it yourself, just remember that you are your own best advocate, that you as a support person are going to be advocating for them more than anyone who doesn't know them, and that that there is no wrong, like, it's hard to do it the wrong way if you're not pressuring or coercing. If you're just there genuinely supporting whatever the survivor wants to do, that is the most important thing. The most important thing you can do is support them in the process. And I just want to give you some extra tips to do that. So, okay, that's the hospital and the hospital reporting in the hospital setting. And we'll be talking about the school setting when I come back. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.